Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show, where you'll find health and fitness inspiration, motivation, and information shared in 15-minute episodes. Tune in while getting a move on to make leading and enjoying the benefits of a healthy lifestyle almost too easy. It's the Fit 15. And now your host, Catherine Basu.
Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show. I'm your host, Catherine Basu, and I'm excited to share a great episode with you today. I have a wonderful guest planned for you. Before I do that, though, I would love to invite you to get up and get moving while you are listening to the episode. This is something that I do every time I release an episode through the intro, but you might have missed it if you're new, so I wanted to still invite you to do that and get to enjoy some fitness benefits from joining us for that walk. Today's episode is a little longer than 15 minutes, so as with every episode, you will hear me play a little sound halfway through the 15-minute mark, so 7.5 minutes into the episode. That way, if you only have 15 minutes to join us, you can know when to turn around if you're going for an out and back walk. So I hope you will take me up on this invitation to tune in while getting a move on and get to enjoy some benefits of moving while listening to the podcast. All right, so back to today's episode. My episode today is going to be one in a mini series I have here on the Fit 15 this month that is being released in honor of the 1-year anniversary of my book being published. So my book is called Superwomen Secrets Revealed. Successful women talk about fitting in fitness and dare you to join them. If you haven't heard of the book before and would like to check it out, you can go to fitarmadillo.com/books, where I have a few signed hardback copies available still. Happy to dedicate that to you, so you can check that out if you enjoy the series and want to grab a book. Books are also available anywhere books are sold, but you won't be able to get them signed unless you come out and meet me. So I actually also have on that same website, fitarmadillo.com/books, a list of upcoming book tour dates. So definitely check that out. If I'm in an area that you are near and you have a small group that would like to come out and meet me, or maybe even have a little event for your group, I'd be happy to entertain that idea. So definitely check out that page and feel free to reach out with any questions or event suggestions that you have. Since I know not everyone will be able to grab a copy of the book or can come out to join me for an event, I wanted to share the same fitness, motivation, and inspiration here on the podcast with you. So that's what the series is all about. I've brought on successful women who aren't in the fitness industry, so maybe they are a little more reliable, relatable than your friendly personal trainer who is doing this podcast for you, but they do find a benefit from fitness, and so they're going to share their stories with you and a fun fitness challenge in the form of a dare. So I hope you stay tuned for that and accept it, and can't wait to hear what you think of the series. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and the other ones I have planned for you as well. All right, so my guest today is Sandra J. Filer. She's an MBA and the U.S. East Coast Heal Your Life teacher and coach trainer, and proprietress of The Happy Goddess, with a mission of empowering women to prosper in all areas of life by making healthy choices. This is done through coaching, goddess retreats, self-care workshops, and facilitating the Heal Your Life teacher and coach trainings. You can find Sandra over at www.thehappygoddess.com. Sandra, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here.
Oh, Catherine, I'm so excited to be here. This is a great topic. I'm eager to connect and share.
Awesome. Well, I always like to have people share kind of what a day in the life looks like for them and how they fit fitness in. So we'd love to have you start us off, Sandra, by sharing, how you fit fitness into your days, what a day looks like, and how that goes for you.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, what I love about my life is that as an entrepreneur and as an owner of my own business, every day looks just a little bit different. For example, today I had like 8 Post-it notes on the right side of me, and I had another list on the left side of me, and I'm, one hand's over here on the phone and the other hand's on the computer, and then because I do work from home, then the other hand is like holding onto the cat to keep her off my laptop. And
right.
All these, real life situations going on. So my day is very full, and I absolutely love that. And what I do as far as fitness is concerned, because I am 54 years old And I basically have incorporated fitness into my life since I've been 21 years old. It's been something that has been a big, huge priority in my life. And the easiest way that I fit that in is by, after I feed my cats, I get right out there first thing and either hit the gym and do a class, or I hit the streets and start walking. Or I get in my car because I live in such a beautiful state and I head to the nature preserve and I do laps around the preserve so that I can breathe in the fresh air, see the beautiful sights if I'm not checking my inbox while I'm walking.
Yep, I have that happen sometimes.
Yeah, so that's a day in the life. And my days usually start depending on the activity level. Some days they start at 4:30 a.m. and sometimes they start at 6:30 a.m. And I never, all of my work is so richly fulfilling that it doesn't feel like work either.
Yeah, I love when we can get to that point, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So you said fitness started as part of your routine when you were 21. So how did that come about, and maybe share before and after and the impacts that's had on you by adding it in?
Mm-hmm. So it's a really great story, and I'll keep it as brief as possible. I was in high school. I was a pom-pom girl, so I was physically fit. However, exercise was not a thing my family did. So what ended up happening was I got married, and the man that I was married to at that time was a vegetarian, and his grandfather owned the first health food store in Flint, Michigan.
Oh, wow.
He was an avid exerciser. And so what we started doing was we would go out and play Frisbee, and he would throw the Frisbee really far away from me. And I would have to run. And he said to me, I said, "Why are you doing that?" And he said, "Well, I just think maybe you'd look better if you would whittle it down a little bit."
Oh boy.
So that was a hard one to take. Well, I'm competitive by nature. It's part of who I am. So he then turned me on to bicycling, and once again took me out and then kept riding really fast. And I had to keep keeping up, and I was in really poor shoes.
All right, out and back walkers, if you only have 15 minutes to spend with us today, that is your cue to turn around now. Back to the interview.
So that ignited this spirit, this spunk, this desire to do my very best. And so I ended up getting really great shoes. I ended up practicing really hard. I was really determined, and I became a really great cyclist. And from there, it just never stopped. I was an aerobics queen. And I love variety. And mostly I also love to have, I think something that's been really important to me and helps other people, once you get involved in exercise, is to have a partner, have a buddy, have a class that you're committed to, so that it also, one of the tricks that I do, or strategies I call it, especially if I have an extremely busy day, is I will incorporate my lunch hour or a break with physical exercise and running a task. So we have a post office that's about 3.5 miles away. I'll get together all of my mail, and I'll hike it one way 3.5 miles, and I'll hike it back 3.5 miles.
Love that.
And yeah, that way it feels like I'm getting a job done and getting my fitness in.
Yeah, you have a little mission that you're working on.
I'm project oriented.
Love that. So, Sandra, any benefits you have, and now that you have the fitness as part of your routine? I know a lot of times people maybe are like the husband that you had who want to start a fitness routine because they want to lose weight. But what are some of the other benefits that you have found from fitting fitness, and that you could maybe enlighten some of our listeners who might not realize all the added benefits they could get?
I would absolutely have to say, without a doubt, and I can speak to this from a recent example. When I am exercising on a regular basis, I am energized. I am alert. I just heard you probably know the statistic. I just heard something about that when you exercise first thing, you activate some endorphin, and it actually helps you absorb information and learn even at a higher level than you would if you wouldn't have ignited whatever this thing is. And so I recently ended up with that, upper respiratory thing that so many people had, and it knocked me on my feet for a good almost 3 weeks.
Wow.
My husband looked at me and said, "You have never not been out the door doing something as 18 years, as long as I've known you." So that 3 weeks, I didn't exercise because my lungs were compromised.
Right.
So I have been having to build myself back up again. And what I really realized in taking that break was that my energy level and my capacity to go the distance has been jeopardized. I'm having to rebuild again. So I am far more stronger, and not in like a muscly way, just a fit way. Like my legs feel like they're more substantial to stand on. They're stronger. I feel more rooted. And I just feel better about myself when I'm exercising. And I think it's that energy level that I have.
Yeah, of course. No, I definitely experience the same thing. And that's why I always try to encourage people that maybe, haven't gotten started yet to try it, because I know I feel like a totally different person when I work out versus when I don't, even if it's just going for a short walk, right? So
Right.
try to get people thinking about that.
Yeah. And I'll tell you a really quick funny story too. So recently I was at a training, and, for anybody that's listening, if you go to training classes, you tend to be sitting all day long, and sometimes, food is served and it's not necessarily the food choices that you might normally make. And because the food is all there before you and it looks so delicious, even though it's healthy choices, it may still be like a little extra of what you might not have that extra of. And so recently when I was in San Diego, 2 of us had Fitbits on, and we would challenge each other all day to get our steps in, right? And so whenever there was an errand to be run, it's like, I'll go make those copies. I'll go run to the other room. I'll go check with the front desk. And then literally we found ourselves like in the meeting room doing laps before it would get started. And kept looking. So it became this really funny. And then at the end of the day, we'd look down and see, where we were at and how we made it happen. Like, what'd you do? Run up the stairs instead of the elevator? Like, how'd you do that? It was so fun to make it fun, right?
Yep. No, I love that. I mean, this is something that's very similar to what you're saying, but I don't know if you have anything else. I know a lot of women will tell me they're just too busy to fit fitness in. So maybe some tips from that experience, or just in general, that you have for people who say they're too busy to fit fitness in. How could they maybe try to get that in anyways?
Well, just like that. That's, one way is that all of a sudden you're just, you could do a little lap. I know that, in the book, many share the same idea about taking the stairs. I've taken the stairs for years, again, parking the farthest away. However, just, we operate on cell phones and mobile devices, and, we obviously want to also be safe. And we can also, we're women, super women at that. So I can, and I'm pretty sure, as long as you know where you're walking and it's a safe like path and there's not a lot of people there, you can walk and check your messages, and you can walk and check your messages, or you can listen to something. So I think there's lots of opportunity, especially to fit in walking.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Walk to the restaurant to go get, your takeout. There's lots of opportunities to fit it in when you find a way, right? Like when opportunities present themselves all the time when we're looking for the opportunity.
Sure. Yeah. So kind of like what you're sharing when you're at that event, just being, alert and trying to find some ways, even if it's not an hour workout, right? Just sneaking in some movement.
Exactly. We also had like a dance party one night celebrating, which was awesome fun, because there again, we were exercising in our own way, and we would do certain dance moves and we'd look down and see, oh, look, it's moving. I mean, exercise can be a lot of fun, right?
Yes. No, that's true. It doesn't have to be a workout. It doesn't have to feel like work, right?
It does not. It can be a whole lot of fun. There's so many different forms too. And that's really what I think is important. There's so many things that are available, and the clubs are so different now with every price point available, and the hours of availability. That's another thing. When I used to go to the gym, I've been doing a lot more outside activity. It's easy also to be on, for me, it's easy to be on the elliptical machine and have your handheld device right in front of you while you're doing the elliptical, not so much with your hands going at the same time, but definitely your feet going. And they've got some little platforms. So, you can spend a whole hour catching up on email and reading email, sending back email right while you're getting in your workout.
Yeah, of course. No, that's yeah, you're not going to fall because you're on that one spot.
Yes.
Elliptical. No, it's a good idea. So you're sharing about this idea of making fitness fun. So one fun thing I've been having everyone do is share a action step in the form of a fitness dare or fitness challenge. So we'd love to know, Sandra, if you have a fun fitness dare for our listeners to try to fit fitness in by attempting this.
Fitness dare. Well, I'm a big believer in just doing something different.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are someone that, Zumba is your thing. I love Zumba. Let's say Zumba is your thing. And yet you've been curious about something else. My dare would be, after you hear this, my dare would be to try something different. That if you've been thinking about water aerobics, or you've been thinking about a spin class, or you've been thinking about asking your neighbor to go for a long walk, do that one thing that's different, because I think that's not only beneficial for our physical bodies, but also for our minds, because we're letting our bodies know that we're open to change.
I had an advanced review for the book that was very similar to those lines. Actually, I don't know if you know, are you familiar with Shawn Achor?
No,
Oh, you have to check him out. I
Okay.
tell everyone about him, but he just had his third book, or I know he has more than 3 books, but third book for adults, especially, because I think he has another book for kids, but came out yesterday when we're recording this. But he's a positive psychologist, happiness researcher, and he also has a great TED Talk. So if you just type in Shawn Achor, I forget the name of the TED Talk, but his big thing is that a lot of times we think we have to be successful to be happy, but really the research shows that if you want to be successful, the happiness comes first, and that, there's small things we can do, like 15 minutes of walking is one that can bring us that happiness. And yeah, I mean, he was sharing in his quote that he says that exercise is a gateway drug. When we do it consistently, it helps the brain to see that change is possible. So kind of what you just mentioned there, right? So it's really important to think about that.
Oh, I love that. It's a gateway drug. That's awesome.
Right.
And it really can be, because I know that there have been times that it is like a drug. It's like, I gotta go to this class. I'm going to go to that class. And yeah, well, again, the feeling that I get and that others can get, when you, not only just the physical feeling, just like you're saying with the positive psychology, that feeling of, I believe, and this is a little off track here, the biggest commitment that we make is the commitment that we make to ourselves. And yet usually the first person we disappoint is ourselves, because we tend to put other people first. And so especially during the new year, a lot of, the commitments are made to creating a new plan of activity in our lives. And so just that feeling of, I did it. And even if it's only 10 minutes or 5 minutes, it's like, reward yourself and acknowledge that you took that step forward.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. Definitely love that idea. So wondering, Sandra, do you have a quote or mantra? It doesn't have to be fitness related, that you live by.
My absolute favorite quote, and this one's been coming up all week for me, I've had reasons to use it, and that is a quote by Mary Kay Ash, and her quote is that integrity is the calling card that we leave behind.
Love that.
Yes, and that is my favorite quote, because I do believe that in life and in business, integrity is the most important thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can, especially if you feel better too, right? If you're being authentic, it's easier to live your life versus acting like someone else.
Exactly. And it's a lot better to sleep at night when you've done the right thing.
Right. No, for sure. So to wrap us up here, Sandra, I know you probably have tons of inspiration that you can share with us just from your background and what you do in your business. But any added inspiration you'd like to leave us here with that doesn't have to be related to fitness, but just can kind of keep us inspired?
I think that the biggest, just immediately what pops into my head is that, especially as busy women, and that's a word I don't even like to use because it tends to be, I'm busier than you, you're busier than me, and it's a measure of our success.
Right.
As a woman that is striving to have success in our lives, I think it's also really important in that calendar to create space. To give yourself that gift of looking at your calendar and building space in it so that you do have the freedom to put some things in your life that fuel your soul. Because when you are fueled, when you are fulfilled, when you are at ease, when you are joy-filled, you will be far more productive than you are when you are stressed out and limited.
Love that. Definitely have experienced that running my own business, and especially going through a move this past year, just having the time to make the space has definitely been, we think it's counterintuitive, right? We think that if we are doing less, we're going to get less done, but just the opposite is true. We have more space, and we're a better version of ourselves, right?
And I think it works a little bit like, the most productive day of the year, which is the day before you leave for vacation.
Right.
I think it's a little like that. It's you're looking at that white space saying, woo, break is coming up. Let's see, I have 30 more minutes. What can I accomplish? So
Yep.
I think it might work a little bit like that too. However, it really is about, self-nourishment and replenish.
Well, really have enjoyed connecting with you, Sandra, and having you share your insights to inspire the listeners, and would love to have them find out. I mean, I know I'm intrigued by the retreats and everything, especially after our chat before we got started, but love to have you share where people can find you. I'll put all the links in the show notes, but anything else, maybe you have going on in the new year that they should find out about.
Yes, absolutely. So as Catherine shared earlier, you can find me on my website is thehappygoddess.com. On Facebook, I am also the Happy Goddess, Diosa Feliz, which is in Spanish. And yes, I hold an annual goddess retreat the third week in January of every year. I'll also be holding one in the month of October of this year.
Okay.
That one I'm talking about kick back and kick ass.
Love that.
So it's a little bit about about doing less and achieving more. So give me a shout. Let me know how I can be of service. And I really appreciate you spending this time with me, Catherine, because I know you are a busy, successful superwoman.
Oh, thank you. Well, no, always good. And I feel like I get a little bit more inspiration myself when I get to chat with other amazing entrepreneurs and just kind of be reminded of what really matters, right? It's not about just do. It's also taking time to reflect, and it's great to have awesome role models like yourself to kind of lead the way for me. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Fit 15. For show notes and more, visit fitarmadillo.com/podcast. See you next time.
Hi friends, it's Catherine, and I hope you enjoyed my talk today with the Happy Goddess, Sandra Filer. Wanted to invite you to continue this theme of happiness by joining me for an event this Thursday evening. That's Thursday, March 1st, 2018, from 7 to 8:30 p.m. in Hartford, Connecticut. I have the honor of being the guest speaker for the Hartford Happiness Club this March. So check out the information on fitarmadillo.com/books. Tell a friend, post the information on social media so friends you might not even know live or might be visiting Hartford, Connecticut this week can come out and join us. The event's free to attend. There's free parking. It should be a really great time. And I've already met a few of the members from previous visits I've had to Connecticut, and I know you'll meet some great people in the audience as well. So save the date, come out and join us if you can. And if not, appreciate your support spreading the word. If you have subscribed to the podcast, I will chat with you tomorrow. Bye.